Hey Hofstra fans, it's time once again for the WV Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Staveski. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rob.
Now, your team over the weekend falling on the road to St. John, 73-47. Kind of summarize the game over the weekend.
Obviously, we did not play our best. I guess you have to give a lot of credit, there's no guessing, to 20th ranked St. John's, who's probably going to be higher than that in this week's poll. Shanika Smith and Nadira McKenneth were spectacular and have gotten better, especially Nadira McKenneth. She had a breakout, game, and she's a highly talented player. But so I have to give credit for them because they're the one that disrupted us. But we also didn't play our best. When you played a top 20 team last week, and you played Texas, you feel like you played well for at least 32 minutes. We didn't necessarily play our best. There's a lot of key players that did some good things. Andrea Thomas tried to lead us very well, and then people kind of chipped in people's hustle, Sydney Epps' hustle, but overall, we just did not play our best.
Now, it seemed St. John's really controlled the pace right from the beginning or opening tip. How do you against the better teams, able to run the team at your tempo?
I think we're stopping ourselves, though. I really felt like that, even from the Texas game where we were really not attacking the rim, and I think that is our biggest thing as a staff is, those were two live scouts and that we saw live, and then, we're talking about our pace, our tempo, attack the rim, and then your players don't come out and do that from the get-go. If you recall, even going back in the Texas game, first play of the game, A.J. Jackson almost throws a backcourt. It's like, so we've really got to push that mentality that you can get to the rim and find. People are going to be there for you. It's not a one-ditch effort. It's not like you're going to the rim and then you have nobody else. So I just think it's, it's easy to pinpoint when you're watching from the stands. It's kind of getting their belief system and their confidence, and and I think that, and again, continually working in practice.
And then 26 turnovers. How do you cut down on that number?
Yeah, that was self-inflicting. Probably 14 or 15 of those were just thrown right out of bounds. And again, a lot of that is lights, camera, action as well too. I felt like we know that we could have competed with them way better than we did, and we didn't.
Now, how much stock do you put into the fact that it's on the road, it's a ranked team going in, they have their Sweet 16 banner raising their home?
Yeah, again, you play every game that you know that you can win and you can compete, and then you come out and for the players' sake, they are bigger, they know you very well, they've live scouted you, they got you on lockdown, they see your tendencies, live, and there's a lot to be said about that. I'm glad when the NCAA confirmed there's no live scouting. Number one, we don't have time to do that, and number two, it kind of keeps everything a little bit on an even playing field because, film sometimes doesn't show exactly as we know as coaches when you're showing to the kids, but I think, obviously they were the much better team that night, but we really threw the ball away ourselves, and a lot of that, could have been a little intimidation.
What positives did you take away from the game?
There are some, even in as of a bad demise as it was. It definitely was not our best showing, and if we'd have played poorly like that against Texas and Tyrone, played poorly against St. John's, we would be even, deeper and deeper. It's they caused us to not do the things that we wanted to do. And so we've got to figure out a way against the better teams that we need to be able to still run our pace and tempo. So that's what we're doing this week.
Off the bench, Manyuku, 10 rebounds. She had a couple of nice putbacks in the second half. What do you think of her play?
Yeah, and you said, what can you find positive? There were key players that kept fighting, contributing. Like I said, Andrea Thomas was running it for us. Players like Sydney Epps and Manyuku, of course, trying to come in and just hustle. And that, which translates to the St. Joe's that we're getting ready to play. St. Joe's is a team that just works really hard. I want to be the team that works really hard. That's the way our teams have always been. And I think we don't know how to do that quite yet. We don't know how to do that quite yet. We have some leaders that, know how to do it, but they've got to really spread that all the way across the team.
Now, you mentioned Sydney Epps. How has she progressed in the time she's been here?
Again, that's just a kid that's just going to try to outwork everybody. She might not do it as pretty as the next one, so it might look awkward, but she finds a way. Deanna Thomas-Palmer's the same way. Ruth Sherrell's another worker. Our freshmen, as a whole, for the most part, have blended well with our guys, of just trying to have a work ethic, and we just got to continue doing that.
Now, the offense held to 16 second half points. How do you start to get the offense going again?
Key players have to step up for us. And again, we're not asking Candace Bond to score 25 points a game, but she's got to be consistent. We need to get, the biggest thing you haven't hit on right here is, getting the ball to Shantae. She can't play games with only 10 touches. We've got to pull her out of the hole a little bit more. We have to give her more looks. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest thing that you take away when everybody's game plan is going to be about stopping her. We've got to figure out, how to get her more involved. She was waiting around. She was open. The post could not guard her. There's nobody on St. John's that could have guarded her. Obviously, that's why they had to send the house on her. So we have got to do a better job putting her in the right places to score. But then the guards have to deliver and give it to her. Whether it's Shantae, whether it be Devin Green in the post, whether it's Deanna Thomas-Palmer, we're not going to win many games not going inside out. So that's just the bottom line there.
And then defensively, Shantae fouled out. Candace Bond had 4 fouls again. You had foul trouble also against Texas.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance between aggressive defense but not getting into foul trouble?
Yeah, and I mean, I think we just had a little bit sloppy defense. We're playing from behind the majority of that game, and we just got very undisciplined. So that, that to me, when we play good, solid defense, it's not sloppy like that. And I think people just, let their emotions get to them and let the way the game was playing out get to them, and we've got to clean that up. It's not how we play. But a lot of, obviously a ton of credit goes to St. John's. I mean, there's a reason why they're going to probably be in the top 15 this week. I mean, you've got some skilled players like that can put points on the board. I mean, you saw 2 players dominate, and Eugenia McPherson can dominate. You come off the bench, you have Dave and Keelan Langley is not even playing right now, so that's a kid that is going to be very good for them. So, they're going to be a team to reckon with as time goes on.
Then this weekend you have St. Joseph. They're kind of overlooked with your non-conference schedule. Not anymore. They just beat number 5 Maryland.
Yeah,
what do you see from that?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. They just try to outwork their opponent. They know their roles really well. They're very diligent in what they do, and they keep fighting. So that's a great thing to take from my team. Is like you got to keep fighting no matter what. And they did a great job holding Maryland scoreless there in the last part of that game, and that was a pretty big accomplishment for their program.
Now they have a forward similar to Shantae, or one of the better players in the A10. Does Shantae always get a little excited when she has to go up against another good forward?
Oh, certainly. I think she, you could see it in her eyes when we were playing Texas. I mean, these are the games she gets really up for, and so we just have to do a better job of getting her involved so she keeps that confidence high. I don't think anything can knock her back, but, you want to have some success and want to feel like you're really contributing.
That is the home opener on Sunday. You excited to finally be back in Hempstead at the MAC?
Oh yeah, this will be fun. After Thanksgiving, hopefully people will be tired of sitting home eating turkey and leftovers and shopping. Maybe they want to just take a break from all the madness and come watch some fun, inexpensive alternative to spending tons of money at the mall. So I'm hoping that we can translate that into a lot of people here. And I think there's going to be a lot of giveaways. I don't want to go on record with everything, but I know that they're planning on giving away a lot of stuff and getting these people into the gym.
What will be the key to victory this weekend against St. Joe's?
Well, we certainly can't have 26 turnovers, so that is something that we're going to work on, focusing and finishing our shots and working that inside-out game. So those are the 3 things that are really big. Of course, all your defensive rebounding, things like that come in handy, but we got to handle the most immediate things that we can't just put a Band-Aid on right now.
All right, Head Coach Krista Kilburn-Staveski, thanks for the time.
Thank you guys.
Hofstra takes on St. Joe's Sunday. You can check out video and audio of the game at gohofstra.com. I'm Rob Joyce, and thanks Hofstra fans for tuning in to the WB Mason's Coaches Report with Krista Kilburn-Staveski.